What if I told you that most of Web3 is built on a lie? Yeah, I'm serious. Many of these so-called decentralized apps are actually using Amazon Web Services to run their front ends. And it gets worse. Some of the most decentralized protocols out there, they're running their nodes too on Amazon servers, which means a single phone call from the government or a flip of a switch from AWS can shut down your favorite crypto apps or blockchains in seconds. So tell me again, how decentralized is that? And that lie has cost projects their access, their users, and in some cases, their future. But what if a new protocol showed up that doesn't just replace AWS, it replaces Filecoin, Arweave, and even IPFS. One that's faster, cheaper, built for actual use. And oh yeah, it's launching right now. Backed by $140 million from some of the most respected VCs in crypto. People who don't just follow the trends, they set them. And it's built by the same team behind SUI, one of the fastest, most developer-friendly chains in crypto. Today, I'm gonna break down the Walrus Protocol. Why does it matter? What makes it different? And how could it flip the entire crypto storage sector upside down? So let's go. You know, data storage didn't just appear. When Amazon spun up AWS, let's rewind for a second. Let's think about previous storage devices, like 1950s. Magnetic tape, basically like hiding your money under the mattress. 1970s, floppy disks. Well, they were cool until they bent in your backpack and died. 1990s to 2000s, USB sticks, RAID drives. Redundant, sure, but fragile, still centralized. Mid-2000s, cloud storage, AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, fast and shiny, until one bad policy wipes your access overnight. Then came Web3's first attempts, like Ethereum, smart contracts, Filecoin, Arweave, IPFS, Brave, absolutely. But they're slow, expensive, and let's be honest, not really built for today. Now, 2025, enter, like the Walrus, they got the build fangs, enter Walrus. This isn't just another Filecoin clone. This might be the next chapter in the storage revolution. Like guys, like I know that you're like looking, Kyle, this is why you're making an entire video on storage. Well, because I actually want to build decentralized applications. I want to build ones that cannot be shut down by any centralized authority. And we've needed something like this to exist for us to build what I'm trying to build. So I got excited, and it's also on SUI, and I like the team over there. So that's why. Have you ever seen a decentralized dApp panic when AWS shuts down their front end? Yeah, well, not so decentralized. It's like calling yourself a minimalist while hoarding junk in your garage. Just ask Uniswap or Tornado Cash. They lost access to their own front ends overnight because a tech giant flipped a switch. Sound familiar? Let's not forget Robinhood flipping the switch and turning off the buy button for GameStop. Let's not let these centralized giants have control. But it's not just dApps. Entire blockchains have faced outages because too many of their nodes were run on AWS. Solana has been halted multiple times, not because the tech failed, but because their validators were too centralized. Ethereum apps broke in 2020 when Infura went down. And yes, that was on AWS too. So let's stop pretending if your decentralized project can be paused by Amazon server going offline, you are not decentralized. You're just leased. That's the risk we've ignored for too long. And Walrus flips that equation on its head. Here's why it matters. Well, there's different things that they have, right? And one is global safety deposit box. No single server crash can erase your data. Very important. Very important not to erase your data. Split the message. Walrus breaks your files into secure chunks and scatters them worldwide. Bank versus mattress. Don't store your digital life somewhere that can be frozen by a policy update. Disaster-proof cloud. Even if 2/3 of the network goes dark, your data is still alive. That is resilience. That is decentralization. All right, so what actually is Walrus? Well, the simple version, it's decentralized programmable storage built from the ground up, not just another wrapper slapped on top of IPFS. It's what's called a blob store, meaning it can hold massive unstructured data. Think video files, AI models, full blockchain histories, even entire websites. But here's the kicker. It's smart. Every file is verifiable. You can prove it's there. You can prove it hasn't changed. This is immutability of the blockchain, right? We want to prove that it hasn't been changed. And you can even build on top of it yourself because Walrus is programmable, just like smart contracts. That means that smart contracts can interact directly with your data, opening the door for an entirely new generation of dApps. Imagine decentralized video platforms, AI tools, social networks, all built natively on top of your data without needing AWS, IPFS, or Filecoin. Now, here is another piece. It all runs on the SUI blockchain. If you don't know SUI, here's a TLDR. It's built by Mysten Labs, the same crew that created Facebook's DM project and the Move programming language. One of the fastest, most developer-friendly blockchains in the world. Think of Mysten Labs kind of like Consensus was for Ethereum. Now, Consensus was a centralized company that helped build out the Ethereum blockchain. All major blockchains have this. They all have this centralized entity that supports the decentralized protocol. But this is for the next era of Web3 infrastructure. So if you're already building on SUI, it's great. This plugs right in. Now, let's talk about tech, because what makes Walrus powerful is what is under the hood. The magic behind it, something called erasure coding. Now, don't let this term scare you. This isn't PhD only territory, trust me. Think of it like this. You've got a photo, Walrus chops it up into encrypted little fragments called slivers. Then it spreads those slivers across the network like digital puzzle pieces. And if a few nodes go offline, no problem. You only need a handful to rebuild the entire thing. So let's compare that to Arweave, for example, which makes 100 full copies of every file. It's like hoarding VHS tapes in a cloud. Walrus, the way it works, it makes 5 to 10 smart copies. So you get the same protection for like 80 to 90% less storage costs. And here's the kicker. It's faster. Instead of waiting for, which we all want, instead of waiting for sluggish retrieval like IPFS, been there, done that, waited, Walrus uses aggregators to fetch your data at Web 2 speeds. Netflix fast, Dropbox simple, but Web 3 secure. So what do you actually get? Fast retrieval, low cost, verifiable data, and no single points of failure. It's the best Web 2 performance with the sovereignty of Web 3. That's not just a tech upgrade. It's a complete shift in power. So who actually needs Walrus? Let's stop pretending this is just some science fair experiment, because this solves real problems. One's happening right now. NFT platforms tired of disappearing media when AWS sneezes? Imagine paying thousands or millions for a JPEG and all you see is a broken link. I've been there, done that. Yeah, that's not real ownership, right? Not at all real ownership. dApps that claim to be decentralized but still rely on Amazon to stay online. AI teams who want proof their models are real and haven't been tampered with. L2s that need ironclad data availability for fraud proofs, because without it, their whole stack crumbles. How about Web3 social apps promising you own your own data or you own your own content and finally be able to back it up? And even traditional companies, they're quietly looking for off-grid storage, not because it's cool, but because Well, they see what's coming and they know the rules can change overnight. So they're building digital bunkers. Walrus, well, it's one of them. This isn't just theory. It's already happening. Right now, Decrypt, one of crypto's biggest media platforms, already storing their content on Walrus. So no Amazon takedowns, no server crashes. And they got this thing called Tusky. Think of it like Dropbox if it actually respected your data. They're building right on top of it. And Atoma, well, they're tackling one of AI's biggest problems, unverifiable data. And with Walrus, their models stay clean, auditable, and tamper-proof. And amazingly, entire websites. They're going up without a single server. With Walrus sites, you can host dApps, launch mint pages, and even spin up NFT storefronts, all without DNS, all without trusting some shady intermediary. No servers, no kill switch, no middlemen, just pure decentralized storage the way it was meant to be. You want to talk about incentives? Let's talk about incentives. Everyone wants to know about the WAL token, right? What does it do? This WAL token, okay. Well, the WAL token, it powers the entire network. Storage nodes stake WAL to operate. Users pay with the WAL token for storage. And stakers, well, they earn yield and bad actors get slashed. Plus, 70% of all WAL goes to community. That's 10% for airdrops. That's 43% for community reserve, grants and incentives, and 10% for storage subsidies, and only 7% is going to investors. So there's no backroom VC deals, no puppet strings, no community in the name only. We've seen that a million times. Just builders, users, and node operators driving real value. That's not just generous, it's aligned. And in a world of rug pulls and rent seekers, alignment is everything. All right, here's what most people miss about token launches. Everyone's watching the price, but smart money, they're watching the flow. March 27th, well, that's a big day. Anyway, that's the day that the TGE happens, the token launch, the token generation events, right? When Walrus goes live. Now, yeah, the airdrop has already been locked in, so don't worry about that. But what happens next? Early users, the ones who farm the airdrop, they're likely to try to take profits. So short-term volatility is highly likely, and there's probably going to be a dip. Well, that's the thing about early markets, right? That's just how it works. It shakes out the tourist while the builders and real users move in. So this isn't me telling you to go ape on launch day. Definitely not. But it's more, watch this one closely, because if the fundamentals hold up and the team delivers, this won't be a flash in the pan airdrop play. It'll be one of the most important protocols in the infrastructure stack. So again, really important here, guys. In fact, what I would recommend if you are looking to maybe get access to the token, remember, they've raised $140 million and probably even more. So I imagine the initial value when it launches is probably gonna be pretty high. If you want some sort of other reference of a similar type of project, I'll put up the chart on the screen here for DeepBook, another project that was launched by some of the founders of SUI as well. You can see that it started off pretty good entry price, spiked really, really high, and then came back down almost to entry price or launch price where it is now. And so this kind of thing happens with really hyped launches like this. And I'll tell you, so far in 2024 and 2025, there has been no need to ape on day one into these kind of crazy launches. In fact, I don't think that you would have been in profit on any of them. Much, much, much better to watch an awesome project like this and watch for it to go through its first correction of 50 to 70%. You can see right now, DeepBook is at a 72% correction. Great time to probably look to acquire some DeepBook if you were interested in that. So the same thing is likely to happen with Walrus. Look, and if it just goes and skyrockets only and you didn't buy it on day one, then it's okay. You don't have to be there for every single deal. You can still go use Walrus because it's an amazing product. But chances are, if you're watching this video looking for an entry, there's gonna be a better entry after some time passes and things settle and people move on to the next shiny object. It'll give you likely an amazing buying opportunity. Because you have to remember that Walrus raised $140 million in a private round led by Standard Crypto. Huge fund, backed by A16Z. the same firm that was behind Airbnb, Instacart, Robinhood, and Slack. Add in Electric Capital, Franklin Templeton, and a few more heavyweights. That's not just smart money, that is serious conviction. You've got something rare in this space, a real roadmap, a real war chest, and a team that's playing the long game. And they really are. The SUI team is insane. That's why I've been backing them so much. Look, I've been around long enough to recognize the pattern. Centralized systems work until they don't. Just ask anyone who's trusted their files to platforms that vanish overnight or got shut down with a phone call. We've seen this movie before, and it always ends the same. Walrus isn't hype. It's not some fleeting trend or a meme coin. It's infrastructure, the foundation that actually lets Web3 work the way it was supposed to. Now, it's programmable, it's fast, and it's finally cheap enough to scale. So whether you're an investor, a builder, or someone who believes in taking back control of your data, you'll want to keep an eye on Walrus, because the future of decentralization doesn't just run through big tech servers like AWS, it runs through protocols like this. And if Walrus delivers on its promise, and we've seen the team deliver on their promises before, this isn't just an AWS killer, it's how we rebuild the internet. Let me know in the comments, folks, what you think. Are you bullish on this next gen storage layer? What projects do you want to see being built on top of it? And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this, guys, with someone who still thinks Filecoin is the boss of Web3. I'm Kyle Chasse. I hope that you guys found this video very valuable. Until next time, keep your data free and your future decentralized. I'm out.